Let's look at Task 1D from the 2025 National 5 Admin and IT exams. You'll see here it says copies of signed employment contracts are now ready to be posted. Prepare address labels for employees hired after 14th of April 2025. Insert the text private and confidential at the bottom of every label and print one page only. Now there's two parts to this. We're going to have to do a query to find the employees hired after 14th of April, and then we're going to have to do a mail merge in a Word document. Let's now create the query. So up to create, query design, and then we'll bring in the employee details table. So what we need is the title, the first name, surname, address 1, address 2, and postcode. That's all the information we'll need for our label. I'll just run that just to check, and I can see, well, that's all the staff right now. But of course the query part is only those who've been employed after the 14th of April 2025. So we do need that information. There's the start date. And under criteria, we can put there greater than 14/04/2025, and let's just run that and see who we've got. So we've got 6 records, so this is what we need for our labels. Here we are in a blank Word document. Let's go to mailings, let's go to start mail merge. Now you might find it helpful to use the step-by-step mail merge wizard for some or all of this task, because it brings a panel down the right hand side and it gives you the steps that you need to take. So we are looking for labels, we'll leave that as it is and click on next. We then have to choose the label that we're going to use. Now I've got here Avery L7160, and that's a standard code. That would actually give me 21 labels that I could print off if I was doing some kind of mail shot or something like that. So although we only need 6 address labels, we're going to use this code here, L7160. Click on OK. Click on next, select recipients, and then we're going to browse. We need to find the query that we created earlier. So let's click on browse and then find the file that we need. So I've found my file and I'll double click on the database, and this gives me everything that we have in our database, the queries and tables, and we need after 14th of April. So let's double click on that. What we get here is a list of all the people in our query. If, for example, you didn't want to include somebody for whatever reason, you could uncheck and they won't be included in the label, but for this one here we're having everybody ticked, and then click on OK. And the next thing we have to do is arrange your labels. So we now need to build up the labels, and this is where I would actually move from the wizard and I would use the insert merge field up here. I find that actually a bit easier. So we're building up there with title, we'll do space, we'll do first name, we'll do space, and then we'll do surname. Now don't worry that it's gone on to 2 lines and everything's in capital letters, because when we look to preview the results we get it in the normal font style and size. So I'll switch that off again and keep building the address up. So what we need from the insert merge field, we'll have address 1, click on enter, go back in, address 2, click on enter, and then postcode. Once again, before we do anything, we can actually preview these results and see that that looks absolutely fine. Now, what we do need to do is put on private and confidential onto the label. Now, the problem we've got is if I type it in this way, right, like that, spell it properly would help, and that is important, confidential, like that. So if I was to preview that, I say, oh well, that looks okay, that seems to fit, that's fine. I'll switch it back off again. Now the issue we've got is, if I then go to update all my labels to show the 6 that I need and update the labels, and then I actually want to preview to see what that looks like, you'll see there I've got my 6 addresses, but the words private and confidential are now appearing on all what would be 21 labels. So for you printing that off, that is maybe not the best look. So I don't think that's the way to add the private and confidential. So I'm going to undo that. I'll just use the undo button up the top here. So now we're back where we started, just by using the undo button for this example here. And let's just preview the results again, which is fine. And now let's update the labels once more. So I would suggest for this one here, we actually just manually type in private and confidential. Alright, so if we just type it in once, alright, and then what we can do is I can just do a straightforward copy and paste. So I'll just take that quickest way, control C to copy, and then just pop it in into each label. Alright, so I think that would look better for printing. So that's how you do task 1D.